Good evening, friends. Good evening, humans. Challenging question today. Did you ever consider that you cannot win this war against the time? Do you consider questioning why? Why you have been put in such a loop that we just live for up to 100 years, which is a very, very good achievement. Then we die, then we come back again, then we do some things, and then we die again. So basically on and on, like a hamster on the wheel. So winning against the time is impossible. Yet this very crucial question is very important with today's subject, which goes like this: how to win without being a conqueror. So let's apply this question to a time. Can we win against the time? Can we win against illness, against the old age, against a shriveling skin, against bones that are losing the density? Can we win against an evil that is operating on this planet for day one, anyway, of this civilization? I don't think so, because we are treating it as an enemy. We want to conquer it. We want to subdue the existence of this time, except instead of using it in our benefits to truly recognize where this winning aggravation that we always show is leading us. Yes, we've been treated very badly. Yes, we have been treated others very badly. Yes, we have been treated animals, other humans, by eating them very badly, by subjugating them, by putting them in a lesser position that we are supposed to be. Yet we are climbing this ladder of winning streak, higher and higher ladder, towards where? I think towards heaven? Don't think so. This is just an old and very fake, very wrongful teaching. Why all these big conquerors are remembered in so-called history books as somebody great? Alexander Great, Napoleon the Great, the shriveling little man, Hitler the Great and shriveling little man. Consider just these three little creatures. The Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Hitler's, they are like 143 centimeters tall. A little bit taller than the midget or dwarfs. Not to insult dwarfs, because they are genetically, let's say, predisposed to be very short. Yet, what is predisposing these very short-sighted men, like Hitler's, Napoleon's, and Alexander's? What is predisposing their nastiness against everybody else? Is their conquering habit. Yet, in contemporary times, let's say in the 19th century, 20th century, 21st century now, what are we doing? Absolutely the same. We're conquering each other. We're finding this is the only way to live. And solution to conquer somebody else is to have a bigger gun, to have more atomic bombs, to conquer many more countries, to be their, how they call it in Canada, governor generals. So in Canada, Queen is governing everybody else. I mean, are you kidding? I mean, for how long? And nobody is questioning this. Nobody in this really silly yet beautiful country is questioning why we have to have a governor general instead of just saying to tell, fuck off, queen, just do your whatever dirty job somewhere else. I mean, I'm learning more and more as this true history unfolding in my face, that we allowed this British Empire, so-called, to grow and conquer and infest every single part of the planet. It doesn't matter. Australia, Canada, Africa, Middle East, Far East, China, Indochina, and so on. All the islands, if you watch, this is something that they can conquer. They can stick their flag in, like Americans do, like British do, like the Hollandese do, and so on. Like, absolutely ridiculous way of treating each other by conquering. Because we have been, not to judge them much, but we have been taught that the only goal in this life is winning. Winning what? Winning against who? So, go back to this present time. Did Trump won the elections? Yes, he did. Does Trump is really cleaning the swamp? Yes, he does. Does Julian Assange have his freedom? Yes. Yet everybody thought, and everybody still thinks, that he's imprisoned in the embassy of one of the middle American countries. So, is Julian Assange free? Yes, he is, because he can freely disclose all the information and share all the knowledge that he has. Like, he is actually showing us a true history that has been hidden by the so-called winners, by the empires that they were ruling the world until now. So the last empire that you know is, doesn't matter, British Empire, Spanish Empire, what else? Holland Empire, Chinese Empire. They were all crumbling. And now the biggest and the funniest one is the so-called American Empire in the contemporary times, where they were trying to conquer everybody else. Look at how many wars they've done. Yet they're pretending they're there to protect somebody. By bombing Serbia, they are protecting, I have no idea who. And yet nobody is challenging them. Nobody is raising international legal action against these conquerors. Now Turkey and Muslims from Middle East are conquering Europe. Is it Europe going to wake up and say, this is enough, basta of this invasion? This is just a little games that we have to recognize, because the bigger game of us being conquered by an alien species for thousands, hundreds of thousands of years is just like our final big push to say, no, we don't want to be conquered anymore. So let's take it as a practice. What we can do with frigging British ex-empire and the royals of all the kinds. How we can eradicate him off the planet. How we can at least eradicate him off our lands, wherever you live. See, are you indebted in any ways towards British Empire? Are you indebted towards American Federal Reserve by using US dollars, by being conquered or being bombed, or any kind of other options that they give you? And raise your voice. Get into the line on the International Court that Anderson is doing Henderson is doing and holding a very bright light. So you can actually raise your questions against this oppression towards you as a human, as a free human who were born wherever you're born. And if you're born in, doesn't matter, Australia, are you Australian or you are the vassal of the royals from some unknown Great Britain? Are you from Ireland or are you from a Northern Ireland? Or are you a free islander? Highlander. These are the lands that are very high, yet has been conquered and kept subdued for centuries. So I think it's time for each one of us to claim our own sovereignty. And you start small. First you start claiming your own sovereignty. That you're not dependent on your country's welfare, that you're not dependent on your banking willingness to give you some fake credits or loans so you can actually go into debt even more. Then you're not willing to go to war for your so-called country somewhere else. That you have enough strength to defend your own sovereignty. Starting with your own house, that it will never be taken away from you. Even if the bank put a moratorium or mortgages or any kind of other legal crap, that you have enough strength and courage to defend your own home. So, question on my answer, or answer on my question: how to conquer, how to win without being a conqueror. Stop conquering these situations that are in your life. Accept them as something that will actually give you an opportunity to be much brighter being. Yes, you're asking why, how? We cannot do this, there is a law against this. Yes, but the law doesn't mean that it's legal, that it's lawful, and especially is it moral. It was just placed there to keep these conquerors from the old times in the hidden positions so nobody would question them, nobody would raise up their hands. Yes, I mean many of us are raising up. Trump, Assange, Denise, me, Snowden's, Putin's, and many others. So what do you do with this information? You cannot just sit tight until the times become better, because it will not. If you sit in your status quo pile of shit and you think it will just start smelling better than it was yesterday, it will not. It will actually go worse. But if you decide to stand up and walk away from this pile of shit that you made, and that you are steering your all the senses within all this crappy place, which means do nothing, just hear what we're saying and obey place, then maybe you'll get some fresh air. Maybe you'll go out of a limb and say to everybody else, I am sovereign. I don't depend. Is it going to somebody give me my social help, welfare, or a job, or bread or anything else? You'll make your own bread. You'll make your own job. You'll make your own funds, your own currency. Again, go back to my previous ones and see how you can make your own currency. Or read just underneath and you can see again just a little suggestions. You do whatever down the road. It'll be your own responsibility, not mine, not anybody else's. It'll be your own to get your own sovereignty. So move your ass and start doing your sovereign work by disclosing the truth, no matter what and how difficult it seems. Yet it will be the most freeing moment in your life when you start telling the truth. See what Trump is doing. See what Assange is doing. See what Denise is doing. These are the beings who are stating again and again and again the truth. Are they conquering anybody? Absolutely not. They're just shining a light equals truth to everybody to see. Especially the ones who are going to pretend, are they going to lose if, let's say, Denise wins, or if Trump wins. Trump won in America, all these freaking Democrats are feeling that they lost. They didn't lose anything. They actually gain a big person who's going to bring the true freedom for them. Yet it will disrupt their, perpetuum mobile of theft they were doing all over the governments, through the Federal Reserve, through the taxations, through weapon industry and so on, through pharmaceutical industry, through energy industry. Now this stops, yet this will bring a true win over the darkness without even moving a muscle, without hurting any of these dark ones. Yeah, their ego will be hurt, their so-called wallets will be very hurt because they will be worth nothing. It will be worthless having 1 million stocks of Microsoft if Microsoft has absolutely no value. If everybody starts realizing there is an alternative, we don't have to use Microsoft. We can use, Ubuntu, Unix, any other operating systems will show up, and then what? Oh, you say Microsoft bought YouTube, Google bought Microsoft, and Microsoft bought, I don't know. Who cares? They can buy each other, exchanging fake dollars between them. It will not help them because they cannot influence anymore what cryptocurrency is doing. When people realize how Grantcoin is one of the major movers into individual sovereignty, because you'll not be dependent on any freaks. Are they going to make jobs for you in your state or your country, and then who's going to deliver? Do you have enough credits so you can open your account? Or it will not matter. You will receive UBI based on your life because you're alive. That's all. And that's all it matters, because you win simply because when you realize you're alive.